Hello everyone and welcome back to Crochet Delight. I'm Barbara and today I am going to show you guys how to use combs. I got these with my wheel at an estate sale. Combs can be anywhere from 100 to 300, sometimes more. I am going to show you guys how to blend on these. It's pretty much the same way you use to prepare wool right off of a fleece after you've washed it and picked through it. So I'm going to show you just the basic way on how to blend and use these. So this is what they look like. Very big spikes, and you have a pair of them. So I have a couple colors. I have purple, I have pink, and I have blue. And then I have some Angelina, or this is actually Blazed Crystallina, which is a little bit different. I think this one's a little thinner than regular Angelina. So I'm going to be making a colorway that my mom helped me with the name, and here it is. So I like being inconsistent when I use these when I'm making a colorway. That way you get, if I use 3 colors, you get to see, like you'll see more of the blue in one section, more of the purple in another, or more of the pink in another. So to start off, I will take some of the pink. What you do, and I'm actually going to just break a piece off. I don't think I'll be using too much of it. What you do is you have your comb like this, one of them, and you just want to grab pretty much the tip of the fiber, well, a little more than the tip, and you want to feather it on. So this part can take a few minutes, but as you can see, it's going right on. Just like that, and it looks like a fluffy little cloud. So you want to do that until you're happy with the thickness, and then set the rest aside. I'm going to take a piece of the purple off, set that aside. Before I put the purple on, I am going to take some of the Crystallina, and I'm going to lay it right in there. The Crystallina and the Angelina, they are add-ins. They are what you want to put in between the fibers, in between each layer of fiber. So go ahead and start laying your next color on. If you put an add-in like Crystallina or Angelina or cotton or anything like that, you want to be very gentle when you go to put your first layer. So fill that right up. Set that aside. Get some more of the Crystallina. It's okay with the Crystallina if you help it stay for the most part. You don't really want it sliding everywhere. So, take a bit of the blue. Carefully and easily just until you get a nice little layer of the blue on top of the crystallina. And one more pass. And there you have it. You end up with something like this. Now, what you're going to want to do, first, see, this is where it all catches. There's barely anything on this side. All of your fiber is here. You want to keep it fluffy, but you don't want it going up over the pegs. So it is okay to pack it down a little bit, and I find this is the best way. So take your other comb. Dangerous. They are sharp, so be careful when you use them. And you just want to catch the edge. See right there? I'm just barely going through. And when you go, you want to give it a little flick after each pass so that it stays fluffy right there. You can go down at an angle when you feel like it's coming up here. Go down at an angle to bring the fibers back down, then go back and forth as many times as you need. You can even go straight down if you want. Not the best way to do it. Going at an angle is better than going straight down. But you can also go side to side. When you're going away from you, it's okay to use a lot of power on this hand if you need to. But when you're going towards you, it's this hand that you want to use. The one that you're taking the fiber off of, you want to push that one away. So whichever one, like if you're going away and you're right-handed, you want to push your right hand away from you. If you are bringing the combs towards you and you're right-handed and the fiber is in your left, push the left away from you. And there you have it. That is it. And you end up with this little bit that's left over, and this is the waste. I don't waste it. I don't like to waste it. I will be spinning this later on, but that's just my preference. And then what you're left with is what's on here. So you've got your sparkle all through. You will end up with a mess if you use the combs. I mean, a big fiber mess. It will go everywhere. It's unavoidable, but oh well. And how you get it off is you can either just lift it right off, spin from that, or you can fluff it up a bit, like I like to do. If you fluff it up just a bit, it actually makes it easier when you go to diz it off or pull it off. A diz is just a little object with a hole. It helps you create the roving. But I've gotten used to pulling it off. And this is actually coming off a lot easier than it usually would. And you just want to move slowly and carefully back and forth. You only have one hand to hold it, unless you want to do something like, if I'm in my room, I hold it with my feet, and I use both hands to pull, and it gets done a little faster. But here's your roving. You want to make sure you have a basket or something, or you're pulling it off into your lap when you're doing it. I've watched many tutorials on how to do this, so I'm pretty comfortable with how to do it. And as you can see, this bit right here is getting smaller and smaller the more I pull. And you can make the choice that when you get to the end, which this would be the end for most people, where there's only a little bit and the rest would be waste, you can either keep pulling to the point where you are literally pulling everything except for the tiniest little bit off, or you can pull all of it off. I like to go so that, see that tiny little bit, that's all that's left. I do not like to waste my wool. I like to use as much as I can because it does cost, especially if you buy from a supplier, which I have no sheep, so I have to. When you're done with your roving, just wind it into a little bird's nest. And there you go. So I hope this was a good tutorial for you guys. I hope you liked it. Since I got these from an estate sale, you always want to make sure these have a cover, and the lady that I got them from, they do have a cover. What you'll do is you'll take this one, or either one, set one on top of it, put the strap at the bottom, slide it over the pointy prongs, and then it's got a little Velcro piece. She didn't keep it that clean on the Velcro piece, so before I even used it, I cleaned these. I picked all the fuzz out of the Velcro. You always want to keep the Velcro clean, that way it sticks, and look, nobody's going to get hurt. That is how you safely use a pair of combs. So the technique that I use it for blending, but that technique, going back and forth and at an angle, that's usually how, after you use your carders and after you've washed and picked out all the gunk from raw fleece, raw wool, raw fiber, because there are other animals that are fiber animals, not just sheep, you will typically use those. If you want, sometimes people will stop at the carders, but you can use the combs to use that technique that I just showed you for blending to make your wool fluffy and usable for spinning instead of fighting with it. Some people use the carders and then roll it into a rolag right from the carders, but I actually think it seems a little more useful, or I don't know, it seems a little better to use the combs after. That way you can make roving and you can spin right from that, or you can make a fluffy cloud and you can spin right from that. So I misplaced my little clicker. That's why I had to get up at the beginning. So it's gonna be a little awkward. Have a delightful day, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next video. Happy hooking!